The novel Before I Go to Sleep was written by S.J. Watson, who was born in the Midlands, UK. Before becoming a writer, Watson worked in the NHS National Health Service for several years. This extremely successful psychological thriller is his first novel and a bestseller in more than 38 countries. The book is extremely detailed both medically and psychologically because of the author's academic career and training. In fact, Watson worked in various hospitals and specialized as an audiologist in the diagnosis and treatment of hearing-impaired children. The novel was published in 2011 and was adapted for the big screen by Ridley Scott, starring Nicole Kidman, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, and Anne-Marie Duff, with Rowan Joffé leading them as director. Before I Go to Sleep tells the story from the point of view of Christine, and is structured as a series of journal entries that she writes daily. In this way, the reader is able to learn about her life and experiences as they happen. The reason for which the protagonist writes journal entries is that she suffers from severe amnesia.
I'm your husband, Ben.
What?
You had an accident. You store up information for a day. Wake up in the morning, it's all gone.
I have to remember who did this to me. Don't trust anyone.
The book begins with Christine Lucas waking up disoriented in an unknown house next to a man that she has never seen before, having no memories, unable to create new ones, forgetting who she is and starting from scratch every day, trying to get a grip on her life. Through her journal notes, Christine makes the reader feel the anxiety and horror of suffering from amnesia and not remembering a single thing about her whole life. In fact, Christine's amnesia is so severe that she believes she's still in her mid-20s. However, when Christine wakes up and takes a look at herself in the mirror, she realizes she's actually 47 years old. Christine does not recognize her body, she doesn't recognize her wrinkles on her face, she does not even recognize her own husband, Ben. The only memories she is left with are the ones from her childhood. Sometimes she gets flashbacks during the day that aid her as they bring back a few other memories. Nevertheless, they will all be forgotten as soon as she falls asleep. Christine is fully dependent on the stranger that wakes up next to her each morning. Every day, her husband, Ben, must disentangle Christine's mysterious life by showing her pictures that are placed in the bathroom and must tell her about her whole life. Yet, one day something changes. Thanks to Dr. Nash's help and his useful advice of keeping a written journal, all of her otherwise lost memories come back to life. Nevertheless, this therapy unravels some frightening facts that lead Christine to write an entry stating not to trust her husband Ben. The journal chronicles the protagonist's interior struggle, which is exactly what keeps the reader hooked on, as they ask themselves a question: what are we without our memories? The novel allows us readers to relate to Christine's emotions and feelings, almost as if they were our own. On the other hand, the movie leaves less freedom to our imagination, thusly transmitting pathos and the hardship of the whole situation. Fear and disorientation are the two most recurring emotions that the movie tries to express. Amongst the changes that were made to the novel in its adaptation for the big screen, the most important one is that of having substituted the journal for a video camera.
Whatever happened that night, whatever I've done, I have to remember.
In fact, the movie is characterized by the protagonist shooting journal-like video footage of herself, in which she speaks about all of the new and old information she has learned about herself. The following day, while watching this footage, Christine realizes that her husband, Ben, is keeping something from her. As a result, she decides to record herself a message saying don't trust your husband. As the novel unfolds, Ben will discover about this footage and erase its traces, as he is well aware that after falling asleep, Christine will not remember a single thing. The big difference here is that in the novel the entry is in written form, meaning Ben rips out a page of the journal, yet the reader is only aware of what the protagonist is aware of. That is, the marks of the torn missing journal entries, which creates suspense and increases the curiosity to want to know how the story ends. Another difference between the movie and the novel is that the former omitted some relevant details about the story. In the novel, Christine was a writer and had published a very successful book before having an accident. For example, the movie is almost entirely structured in flashbacks, and the written is a lot faster. In contrast, the book is structured in a much clearer way. It's as if the protagonist is trying to connect the missing pieces of her puzzle-like life that she does not remember, if not for a few short and incohesive flashbacks. Nevertheless, all of this is taken away in the movie adaptation. I was struck by how the language was direct and simple, yet piercing, with a hint of maliciousness in stark contrast with the levity of existing without knowing your own past. The protagonist is forced to put her life into someone else's hands. She relies solely on what her husband tells her, meaning she is not really free. This theme is food for thought, as it makes you realize that without memories of one's own experiences, one feels out of place and is completely vulnerable, unable to protect him or herself from lies. In the end, the truth is discovered alongside the protagonist through flashbacks of the accident. In a surprising turn of events, we discover that it is in fact this man, his husband, is actually his lover that hit her. This intricate plot touches our readers and viewers, as it highlights how dangerous obsessive love can become. Mankind is nothing without its memories and experiences. In the words of S.J. Watson, who are we without our memories?